Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel. I just realized that I just finished my Terrifier review about 30 seconds ago, and I'm jumping right into my Smile 2 review because I saw both those movies back to back this weekend. So let's talk about Smile 2. The biggest difference, of course, between Terrifier 3 and Smile 2, besides the production, because Terrifier are more indie movies, while Smile is like a big movie, like a big Hollywood production. But the biggest difference is that Smile 2 is more of a scares movie, more of a terror, edge of your seat, whereas Terrifier is more slasher. If you like the first Smile, you're going to love the second Smile. It's as simple as that. They don't mess with the formula at all. They pick up just a few days after the first movie. And then there's like a time jump or whatever. And that happens, that's movies do that all the time. Of course, horror movies are going to do it. I didn't mention this in Terrifier, but Terrifier 3 does it a couple of times. But Smile 2 picks up where the first one left off, and it's brilliant. I mean, I don't even know. That's the word I've used consistently, is brilliant. Just like the Terrifier review, I'm not going to spoil too much. I don't want to walk you through the whole movie. It's not going to work if you don't see it yourself. But it takes the idea we already know, where there's a demon or a spirit or whatever you want to call it that passes from person to person through trauma. And basically in the beginning, we see the guy from the last movie who's trying to pass it on to someone else. He almost screws it up, then he doesn't screw it up, and then he gets hit by a truck. I said I wouldn't spoil too much, but he gets hit by a truck, and the result of that is very bloody and gory. So I enjoyed the fact that Smile pushed the limits of the violence this time, for sure. At least in that first few minutes, it's a lot different than what I expected. And then you have the main character, played by Naomi Scott to perfection, by the way. Just like the first film, I can't remember the actress who played the main character, the main protagonist, I guess. But once again, watching the character slowly go mad is just fantastic. The jump scares are amazing. I love jump scares. Jump scares are my favorite thing about horror movies. There are people out there, people that are going to watch this video that are like, oh, I don't get jump scared. Good for you. I don't care. I do. I allow myself, even if I know there's a jump scare coming, I will allow myself to get into a false sense of security so I can get scared. I like being scared. So good for you that you can sit through a horror movie and be a bore, but I like to enjoy the scares and everything. Cat. I'm not saying if you don't get scared, you're boring. I'm just saying bragging about it isn't going to suddenly make me not scared. But the jump scares are really good. Two of them had made me literally jump, because there's the and then there's a whoa, yeah, dog on my lap. At least twice I actually jumped up out of my seat. Again, I've already mentioned it, but the violence they push it up a little bit at least. The first couple of deaths in the movie are really shocking. The ending of the movie, well, we'll talk about the ending in a minute, but it's awesome. But there is so in the first movie, I know I'm stuttering, but in the first movie, the last 10 minutes or so, there's like a huge chunk where the main protagonist does a bunch of stuff, and then it turns out it's all a hallucination, which I thought was awesome. I was like, whoa! Excuse me. The second movie kind of pushes that limit. Well, it does. It pushes that limit much further. There's a much larger chunk of the movie that is a hallucination, and it's kind of hard to tell where the hallucination starts. You know where it ends, which we'll talk about in just a second. But, and that, with the first movie, that was a unique way to go. It's like, she went to this house, thought she burned it, thought she killed the thing, thought she left, thought she went home, and then ran out the front door, and she was still at the same house. That was cool. I was like, whoa, that's insane. This movie takes that idea and launches it into the stratosphere in a good way. I'm not complaining. I'm saying you really got to have an open mind and suspend your disbelief. I compare it to the Insidious movies because the further thing and being able to sleep, fly, or wander, or whatever it is, And that's my dad and my stepmom, they said that kind of stuff took them out of Insidious, whereas I love that stuff about Insidious. So that's a good way for me to put it, because in this movie there's a point where a bunch of stuff happens and then it's suddenly revealed that it's all a whole hallucination, and it's a lot of stuff that happens. There's she's in the hospital and somebody dies and she gets caught and then she runs away and then she goes to this other guy and they try to do something to make the demon stop, and a ton of it happens just for the demon to reveal that none of it's real. Naomi Scott plays a pop star who was involved in a massive car accident that killed her husband, who is played by Jack Nicholson's son. Oh my God. He's only in the movie like 2 or 3 times, but his last appearance where he does the smile, he's definitely Jack Nicholson's son. That's all I gotta say. I think his name's Ryan anyway. Yeah, I think so. Ryan Nicholson. But then like the hallucination scene ends with her being on stage, and she spends like the whole time trying to cancel this new tour after being back after a year, whatever. And it's crazy. I won't spoil the ending. Like I said, the hallucination ends with her being on stage for the first stop of this tour. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure most people that see this will have seen the movie already. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, I'm sure you can figure it out. Throughout the movie, I kind of guessed that was going to be the ending. But my child is making a lot of noise. But I was pleasantly surprised that they still went that way. I'm not saying, I figured it out. But, yes, Kat. But I was happy they went that way. And now it definitely opens up a ton of questions if they can do a Smile 3. Again, if you've seen the movie, they sure could. But it really depends on where they go from there. Cat, dog. Sorry, I had to do parenting, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do a third one, just to see where they go with it. I just realized I didn't mention that they left Terrifier open for a 4th one, but you guys will see that. You guys can figure that out for yourself. But I guess that's it. I really like Smile 2. I liked it more than the first one. The first one was my favorite horror movie of all of 2022, which is saying a lot, I know, but I really liked it. It felt different, and it scared the shit out of me. The second one, same thing. It was the same idea, but they did more with it. They really expanded on the hallucination thing, which I think was a good idea. The creature design is even better than the first one, which I can't believe. I recommend going to see it, just like I recommended Terrifier. If you like jump scares and decent gore and creature design and just wild stuff, go see it. Yeah, that's it. More spooky month stuff coming. I really enjoyed being able to go see these 2 movies in theaters. Yeah. Go see Smile 2. Until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. I'll see you then.